All right, children, so on to another podcast. I know that last one was kind of depressing, and so is this one going to be. I decided I'm kind of going to do kind of a therapy kind of podcasts, tell you guys a lot about me, and kind of give you an idea of some of the crap I've gone through. One of the other things I'm kind of doing this one because Charles has talked about vlogs are good thing, therapy, just kind of talk and let some stuff out. And of course, I can't vlog right now. I probably can if I mess with my old camera enough and slam it on the ground and stuff. I think it's gonna be easier to do with the podcast. Always, I can move my hands around more. I can just kind of talk it out rather than have to worry about the footage or what's behind me. But anyway, today's title, and this can be kind of weird, and you guys might be able to understand this if you've ever had to go through this. Is today's topic is bad birthdays. I'm going to be talking a little bit about the failed birthdays I have had throughout my wonderful 30 years of life. I want to start off with a disclaimer. I will not be saying any names on the people who were involved in these. And if you do recognize yourself in these scenarios, because I know a lot of my friends and family watch these and listen to these, I just want to say I'm sorry. I haven't told you about how I felt about that situation before now. And I hope this kind of gives you an eye opener to how things were that day. Because there was just a lot of that went down several different times throughout the years. I'm trying to think. I'm going to start with some positives. I have had some good birthdays. I don't want to sound like the girl from Gremlins. And you guys have seen pretty much since I started vlogging. I've had some good birthdays. I know, like, you guys have seen when me and mom went to Virginia Beach and, got to run around there with her and have some fun and got to see and hear some dolphins. Didn't get to see them up close, but once we went actually back through the footage and realized, oh my God, those were dolphins. So that was fun. When she and I went to Atlanta a couple years ago, that was a lot of fun going back to the Coke factory and running around and getting to do like the Hunger Games tour out there in Atlanta, seeing I don't know if I like covered it in that footage, but when we went to Atlanta for my birthday, that hotel has a lot of meaning in our family, and especially for me and mom. Not only was Hunger Games filmed there, and there's another movie I was watching the trailer for right before we went to see whatever was the last movie we went to go see in theaters. And I was like, hey, that's my hotel in Atlanta. So yeah, see these guys rappelling down this same thing that the crew in Hunger Games rappelled down in, like, I think it's the third or fourth movie. So I'm just like, wait a minute, that's the Marriott in Atlanta. Um, but not only is it, yeah, the movie hotel location now, but I think we covered a little bit in the footage, but I don't know if I actually kept it or not. My mom went to Worldcon, which is like the science fiction convention. It was a lot more back then, but she went to the World Science Fiction Convention in '86 at that hotel and one of the neighboring hotels. That means, yes, if you're doing the math correctly and you've figured things out, she was pregnant with me in that hotel at World Science Fiction Convention. So I got to experience those elevators in utero, which may be why I have problems with elevators and heights. I was in those elevators in utero and, oh, mommy, no, mommy, no. Oh, sorry for any of you headphone listeners. But so, yeah, for us to, 29 years later, go to that hotel and, well, 29 and a half years because she was halfway pregnant with me at the time. So, I mean, it is a very special thing for me and her. So it's cool for us to go back there together. And last year when we went, you guys, of course, saw these vlog footages. Last year we went to Martinsville Speedway, and that was fun. And I mean, the day of, we went book shopping and drove home. But for that weekend, just running around Greensboro, North Carolina, and running around Martinsville, Virginia, and that was cool. And getting to go to the race and doing the green flag experience, and I actually got to see Dale Jr. in person and not through a fence, and it was actually kind of interesting. I have had some good birthdays. Unfortunately, my childhood was different. And there was, I think, right before I went to, I think it was before I went to the Virginia Beach or the Atlanta trip. I had a cute balloon and a cupcake waiting for me when I got to work that day from my friends at work. But for the most part, I've had some pretty crappy birthdays. I also want to clarify these statements with yes, I know my birthday is a holiday, and so it is hard to get people to do other stuff on a holiday. Um, Everyone's got their parties or their celebrations, and now my birthday, at least it's a traveling holiday, not in the I'm traveling to grandmother's house, but people hopping house to house to house to house to house. Is it so hard to make sure that when you're taking your kids trick or treating, your nieces or your nephews or your grandkids or whatnot, if you got a friend who's got a birthday on Halloween, make sure you stop by their neighborhood or, you know, acknowledge it a couple days before, which is usually what I tried to do. I tried to do, parties a day before or at least like all day parties. That's one thing I tried to do when I was older was, have all day parties so that way people could stopping in and go as they needed to. And I also try to do them like a couple days before my birthday just so everyone can have their Halloween parties. I mean, what really sucks, and this is kind of leading up to all this, I have planned every single one of my birthday parties. I have always been the one to put them together. I've never had a surprise party that I can remember. If there was some as a kid, I sure as hell don't remember them. All the bad ones are what I can remember, unfortunately, because there was pretty much nothing but bad ones. I always had to plan them out. I would, come up with the activities. I remember one of my birthday parties, I actually made and put together gift bags for all the people I invited. And I'll go into detail on who showed up. But ever since I was a kid and even now as an adult, even this past year, because I was trying to figure out, okay, big 30, I want to do something really cool and include all my friends because I work with all my friends. Getting everybody off on the same day wasn't going to work. Getting everybody off around the same time wasn't going to work. And to find a place to do a party all day was going to cost a lot more money than I cared to spend on to please and include everybody else for my day. And that's the thing is though, like even with the good birthdays, the Virginia Beach birthday, I paid for the hotels. I came up with the location, but I mean, at least that's one thing. Yeah, I decide what I want to do for my birthday. But I paid for the hotel. Me and mom split the entertainment and food. And same thing with Atlanta. I paid for the hotel, and we split entertainment and food. Martinsville, I paid for the race tickets and my green flag experience. She paid for the hotel. And I think we split food there. And that's just it, is that I've never had the, everybody wait on me hand and foot birthday. I've never had the, oh, I need you here at this time. Hey, all your friends are here. I've never had even the gifts waiting for me. I've had, but I mean, I've never had a birthday that was like, oh wow, it was never a surprise because I planned it all. I made all the arrangements. I paid for a lot of my birthday stuff. So it's really sucks. 30 years of disappointment. Like I said, the Virginia trip and the Atlanta trip were fun, and Martinsville trip were all great, and I had a lot of fun, and they were well worth it. But it's just it's always been me. I've always had to, and mind you, again, disclaimer here, I'm a little bit of a control freak, and I do like planning out things on my own. But it would be nice one year someone actually do it for me. I've complained about this for years, and yet still, year after year, it's been on me. I'm trying not to get emotional about this, and if you guys, hear anything get tightened up, that's why. So, to the bad birthdays, the specifics. and kind of give you guys a reason why it's not like the, oh, I got the red thing instead of the blue thing I wanted, or I didn't get the gift I wanted. No, they were seriously fucked up. And I try not to cuss on these things, but that shows you how screwed up these birthdays were. They were Deadpool bad. Just saying that because I'm actually was watching Deadpool on Blu-ray right before I started recording. In 1994, yes, I know these years. 1994's birthday is I can't blame it much on people, and here's why. The week before, and I remember this, I was 8 years old, about to turn eight. Oh, I turned eight that year for that birthday. And I had all these activities planned outside. Um, I even had a little like road, collision course, climb and slide down my slide and run and jump over this. And I had everything planned in the backyard. And then I had a party inside where I had the gift bags and a bunch of other stuff. And I forget, I think we had like pizza party, something like that. And then that morning it snowed. Yes, that's right. It snowed October 31st, 1994, in Evansville, Indiana. Go look it up. Mother Nature was to blame for screwing up my birthday that year. But the thing is, though, is I had a few friends, mainly my church friends, because that was really all I had back then, showed up. I think one of my best friends showed up. The girl who we've grown up together, I might have talked about her before. She's the Christmas baby of '86. She showed up, and her cousin came with her, and they only stopped for a little bit to drop off the gifts, and then they were going to go out and do a little trick or treating before they went home. And that was the thing is though is there were people even trick or treating, but nobody could, except for them, could stop by my house and at least say hi. There might have been a few other people to show up, but I really don't remember anybody else showing up. And I know part of it was the weather to blame because it snowed on Halloween. So I understand not wanting to get out in it, but if you were already going to go out and trick or treat, what's the harm of stopping by your friend's birthday party? I mean, really. Fast forward to, I think, 98, 99, somewhere in there. It was the birthday during my sixth grade year. We moved on my birthday. But yeah, we moved on my birthday. I mean, as in that weekend we spent, or, throughout that week, we were packing and getting our stuff ready. And I was actually in charge of boxing up our encyclopedias. That's right, kids, that thing that was before Wikipedia. There were books that had information in them. We had two sets of them that our school counselor gave us. But yeah, I was in charge of packing up our encyclopedias, and I was tempted to offer them to anybody who's trick or treating. It's like, oh, your last name starts with an F. Here's the F volume. Yes, they were alphabetized. They were alphabetically sorted. So if you don't know encyclopedias, that's what they were. Go Google it. That makes me ill to say Google encyclopedia. But yeah, so I'm out on our porch boxing stuff up because we had a bug problem at that time, so we were making sure no bugs were in anything as we were packing it up. So I was shaking them out on the front porch, boxing up the encyclopedias on my birthday that year. Fast forward about 4 years later, my 16th birthday. At this point, we have kicked my brother out of the house. He had been in and out of our house pretty much from the second he was 18 on. And my brother had been at Job Corps. If you don't know what Job Corps is, it's kind of like, we used to call it pre-juvie. Pretty much it's troubled kids who've been, like him, kicked out of the house, have been in juvie and are now out of the high school system. I think it's ages like 18 to 25. Job Corps people are. And you just kind of go there and they get, some of them get their GED, some get their driver's license there. I think he even did get his driver's license there. And then they teach you skills to hopefully get a job and be an actual serious adult. There he met, you guys have heard me talk about my nephews. He met their mother at Job Corps. And you're thinking, what does this have to do with your birthday? We got a call from him from Job Corps a couple days before my birthday saying that they had been kicked out of Job Corps for a weird reason I'm not going to go into. And it wasn't like they were doing anything, but they pretty much got, took had to take the fall for something that happened, which was stupid. I'm not going to go into detail on, but now we had to bring him. I mean, we'd already rearranged the house, so because it was just me, my mom, and my sister at the house, and I think Beck was getting ready to move out, or no, she had moved out by then because she was doing an inventory job, or maybe not. I don't know. Sis, if you remember, if you're listening to this, let me know if you were living with us at the time. I don't remember. But so, yeah, my 16th birthday, we spent cleaning up the house, rearranging everything to figure out how to put two people back into the house. One person back, one person new. Because she lives here in South Carolina. So, and the Job Corps was just like a couple hours away from our hometown. So we went ahead and had them move in with us. And they ended up living in Indiana for a while until they came back here to South Carolina. So yeah, I spent my 16th birthday, no party, no gifts, no nothing, cleaning up the house and trying to figure out how to bring two people into it. You think they appreciated it? I don't know. Doubt it because they broke some rules and conceived my nephew. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Jamie. He's a cute little boy. Well, not so little anymore. Um, I love my nephews, but yeah, they were told not to do anything like that in the house, and they did that kind of stuff in the house. And but so yeah, that was my 16th birthday. Pretty much after that, my birthdays were I really don't remember any of the other ones from there until I moved. My birthdays in Tennessee were pretty cool. I know the week before my 21st birthday, it's past the. Anyway, I can't get in trouble for this anymore, but the week before my 21st birthday, some friends from work had a party, and I did drink that day. That was probably one of my best birthdays pre North Carolina. And I would just like to add that I was not the youngest person drinking at that party. So my underage drinking was nothing compared to some of the other underage drinkers in that party. And I would also like to point out that at that party, I made sure I only drank a little bit. I had a few like Smirnoffs, that was it. And when I got to the point I had my limit, I called my brother and had him come pick me up. Because yes, at one point my brother lived with us in Tennessee. Long story there. But so that was a fun, birthday. Then we moved to North Carolina, and I had the last three were pretty cool, as I talked about earlier. However, I had two really, really shitty birthdays at the beginning of my time here in North Carolina. And sad part is my shitty birthdays involve two people. I'm gonna come out and say I am still friends with the two people, acquaintances, with two people who have screwed up two of my birthdays. One they screwed up directly, one they screwed up indirectly. Again, I'm not gonna say any names, and if you know who you are, and I think you know what you did. And I'm not going to go into full detail on some of it, but here it is. So I don't know if you guys know with Bass Pro Shop, they partner with a resort a resort company, and you can go there and get resort tours and, of course, buy their packages and blah, 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 blah. But you can do, it's very cheap. It's like $99 for 3 days, 2 nights package at one of their hotels. You get to choose the location, and you can it's for four people, technically two adults, two kids. But they said, early, we're not going to card the people who are in the hotel who sign up, so they don't need to know. And the two mentioned friends, we worked with one of them, the other one was her sister, and they used to hang out with a lot of their friends from school. They were adults and graduated, but some their old friends from school and who we also still worked with. And the other group was frequently going to the beach, going on beach trips. They were, they were the weekend warriors. Every chance they could, they were gone somewhere. Sometimes they'd invite our friends, sometimes they didn't. And then the group had just gone to Myrtle Beach for a trip and didn't invite these two. So me and mom fell back. We're thinking, okay, who can we take for our plus two? I mean, technically we can just go as us, but we can bring two other people who we want to bring. We felt bad the fact that they were talking about the other group had gone to a beach trip and didn't invite them or didn't take them. And so we're like, you know what? Let's invite them to our trip. Let's just say I still regret it this day. We had told them when we invited them, we told them we'll cover the hotel is already paid for, and that because of with the trip you also get gift cards for Bass Pro Shop, which also has a restaurant down there. We told them that we'll cover the meal for the Bass Pro Shop restaurant because oh my god, we I think we ended up with like $175 worth in gift cards for Bass Pro Shop, and I don't really do a lot of Bass Pro Shop, and the only thing I really buy at Bass Pro is NASCAR memorabilia and food at their restaurants. So I'm just like, how am I going to spend $175? So the big thing was the four of us getting whatever the hell we wanted at the restaurant, and if there was whatever was left, use it up at the actual shop. So we told them we could pay for the hotel already. That's already done covered. We'll pay for the meal out of the gift card at at the Bass Pro Shop, but that they had to pay for their own meals the rest of the weekend, and they had to pay for half the gas, which was completely reasonable. That it was very reasonable, help pay for the gas, pay for your own food, because I ain't exactly loaded. I mean, we're on this trip to get a cheap beach trip. I mean, to get a hotel for 2 nights for $99 for the weekend is amazing. Yeah, you got to go through the pitch and all that stuff, but that's worth it to me. We went down there and oh my God. On the way there, they were playing on, different devices and we're talking about one of the guys in the other group who they had a crush on since high school. And that's at one point, I think when we separated to do two different activities, I said I was starting to make a drinking game out of how many times they said his name, or I was going to start taxing them for every time they said his name. I was going to start taking money. Already on the way down there, I was starting to regret it. But I know how they were, and so I knew I was gonna put myself in that situation. And because I'm not the kind of person to make a big deal about me, and that's I think one of the reasons why my birthdays have been so screwed up is I don't make people be nice to me. I don't make people, realize that I have feelings too. I've never made a big spectacle about myself. I'd rather give than receive. I've always been that kind of person. For the fact that I invited friends who got screwed over by their other friends for my birthday trip, I didn't make a big deal about the fact that it was my birthday trip. I mean, it was just a beach trip with friends. Screw the fact that it was my birthday weekend, that we went down there. I didn't make a big deal about it, and I don't know. I guess I should have, but I didn't. I think it was for my 25th. I don't know. It was somewhere around there. But still, I didn't make a big fuss about it because I'm just not that kind of person. But we get down there and everything went wrong. Traffic was shitty, but that's to be expected going south. Anything north of Charlotte, you get through Charlotte and it's hell. And then there was this restaurant we were going to stop at on the way down. It was partially way down from here to Myrtle Beach. And we had been on their website and, keeping an eye on it, deciding what we were going to eat and was so excited about this. And then right before we left, I checked it again and they said, okay, we're no longer serving, because I think they were flatbread. They served a lot of different flatbreads. And they said, we ended up actually not doing that. We're just now burgers and hot dogs place. I was like, okay, still the name's cool to stop by and at least take pictures at the place. And for their safety, I think they've shut down now. I haven't really looked them up in a while. I was like, okay, we can still stop by and eat there because we're still going to need to eat on the way there. Because it's like a 4.5 hour drive if you drive the speed limit. We get there, have GPS, and we get to the restaurant and they have a sign that says closed, plumbing issues. Yeah, ain't happening. Great. So I should have known. We should have just said fuck it and turn around. We went ahead and said, forget it, let's just get to the hotel and we'll order something when we get into the hotel. So already I knew this trip was going to suck. And like I said, my friends were told they pay for, like, we'll pay for the gas down there. They can pay for some gas on the way back up and pay for their own meals. We had several different times where, like, ordering pizza, ordering delivery Chinese, of, trying to be like, okay, who's going to pay for what? Like, okay, we paid for all four of our meals yesterday. You guys can pay for all four today. And it was amazing how they're like, oh, well, I don't know, can we afford that? How much would it be? And it's like, look, we told you like a month in advance you were going to pay for this stuff. Unless you were planning on like eating ramen packets all week, well, all weekend, you really didn't, plan to pay for your own food. Really, you didn't actually budget that in, or at least told us when, oh, I just remembered another part they've screwed up, but I'm not going to go into that because it's very detailed on them. But, they could have said, hey guys, our budget's not so great. We thought we had enough to cover this. We may not be able to cover all of our meals. At least be upfront with it so at least we can figure out if we can afford to take them, or say, you know what, never mind. If you can't pay for your stuff, just stay. We'll go on our own. So they, kind of dragged their feet about paying for their meals. That wasn't, that we told them that they were going to cover. And I don't even end up losing track of what they ended up actually paying for and what they didn't. We get there and we're playing around the pool, and there was three things I had planned to do, three big things that I had planned on doing while we were down there, and that we didn't end up doing. We did go to the Ripley Aquarium down there, which was cool. But I wanted to go to that restaurant on the way down. Didn't end up happening. There was a putt putt and uh, glass maze that I wanted to kind of check out due to, I don't even remember why we didn't end up going. And the other big thing I wanted to do, because I got a free pass on your birthday, Medieval Times gives you a free admission with paid admission. So pretty much buy one get one free. Birthday person gets free meal. And I wanted to go to Medieval Times so bad. I've been wanting to do that forever. Because I love the medieval stuff. We used to be part of a medieval group, and I wanted to go. And when we asked the people at the reception desk who actually arranged that stuff at the hotel, said, well, actually, I don't think they're open today or this weekend because they're doing rehearsals for their Christmas show. And we're like, oh, well, I saw on their website that they did have shows. So if they decided to not do the shows, it's really shitty of them to put it on their website and then not do them. And we debated, and I said, screw it, you know what? We went to the Ripley's Aquarium. Well, me and Mom went to the Ripley's Aquarium right at the end of their day, so we kind of rushed through it, missed a lot of the, like, shows and stuff. While our friends did one of those magic quests where you rent a wand and run around to do activities, which is one of the things actually I had thought about doing myself. But we ended up more him and hawing around. Now brings me to where they really royally fucks me over. During this trip, like I said, there was a lot of disappointment. Oh, the other thing, Tiger World. There's a place down there, Tiger World, that has ligers, and I was so badly wanting to go see them. And it was at this boardwalk, and we get there to find out it's closed for the season. Nowhere on the website did I see that it has seasonal hours. So yeah, I was disappointed in that. So this boardwalk we go to where Tiger World is and several other things are, we're walking around checking all these different gift shops down there. And one of the things, we were already down there on a resort tour pass. So every like 5 feet, there's a thing going, would you like to, sign up for our resort tour and you get a free blah, blah, blah. It's like, look, even one of them was like free Medieval Times tickets. I'm like, okay, technically, I've already got a free Medieval Time ticket and we're already here on a resort tour. So fuck you. No. So they were already frustrating me with the touristy shit. And there was a coupon booklet that I got at Rest Stop for a free dolphin plushie at touristy gift shops. We get to one of them because huge dolphin fan. In case you guys haven't figured that out, I love dolphins. And sorry for this being really long. I just looked at the time on this thing. It's gonna be a long ranty, but yay. Anyway, and we're not even to the worst birthday yet. We went to this gift shop and I was like, okay, so is this the free dolphin? Like, oh no, it's the smaller one. We're out of those. Are you effing serious? This is the off season for you, and you don't have any of the free dolphins, and you're not willing to, reduce price on this one or whatever. You know what? Forget it. I decided I wasn't going to buy anything in that place because they do bait and switch, and I'm not going to buy into that. However, my friends did buy stuff for themselves and the friends who ditched them. And we get to the boardwalk, and, I bought a few things, a few places. Oh, there was one place down there that's got a lot of Indian stuff, like Dot Indian. I'm huge into the Hindi culture stuff, not like the henna and all that kind of stuff, but I love anything with the Hindi, like jewelry and stuff like that. I bought a bunch of stuff there. That was my one big excitement there, was getting to play at that store. Once again, my friends were running around buying stuff for the friends who ditched them. And now, mind you, I want to go back and remind you, these are the people who were told had to pay for their own meals and dragged their feet about paying for their food that, was part of the qualifications of coming on this trip, but they had money to buy fancy ass shit for the people who screwed them over. Yeah. So instead of buying stuff and holding up their end of the bargain for the people who did take them on a beach trip and whose birthday it was, no, they were buying like sculptures and stuff for the friends who go to that area a lot, who went to that area a lot, and who didn't invite them on the last beach trip. I was frustrated. The tourist, people were pissing me off. The fact that every other thing that I wanted to do was close was pissing me off. And those two buying everything for everyone else but me, or at least acknowledging the fact that we've been covering for them and, invite them to my birthday trip was pissing me off. So I said, fuck it. At one point, they were in a shop. We were sitting out there waiting for them. I left and went to the car and sat in the car and sat in the car and was texting my mom going, are you guys coming eventually? Are we going on to the next thing or not? And there was at one point I was sitting in the car crying, contemplating getting out and finding the highway and walking from Myrtle Beach to Mooresville, North Carolina. I was that pissed. I was that frustrated. I was that done with the people who I was on a trip with. And at any point, did they think, oh, these are people who invited us, who've been paying stuff for us, and, she's upset. Maybe we should think about our actions. No, not until I think it was like a week later when we got back and we're back at work and everything. Mom actually said something to one of them that I got it was one of those like pillow pets, a dolphin pillow pet that we sell at work. That was in the department she worked in. So it was one of those, had to be forced into seeing and understanding gifts and last minute. So, I mean, it was really shitty to be so upset and frustrating on your own birthday weekend where you're supposed to be having with fun with friends and realizing they're spending it more on buying gifts for the friends who have been so inconsiderate to them. But the people who actually have been thinking of them and putting them first got screwed over. So that's all for the beach trip. I don't want to go too much into that one. There was a few other moments of, oh my God, I might actually push you two out of the car and let you walk home. Fast forward to a year or two later. I really don't remember how much after that. A couple years after that, I had been dating a mutual friend of theirs and someone that we had all worked with. Well, the sister didn't work with us. She worked somewhere else. But someone that they had went to school with and that we had worked with. We had been dating, and right a week before my birthday, we broke up. After dating for 5 months, we broke up a week before my birthday. And we had already planned like a month or so before about for my birthday, like I've been talking about, I always wanted to do just an all day thing where people can come and go as they want to. We were going to do another gaming party. We had done one before at his house. And we were going to do another board games. Magic the Gathering was what he was into. And some of our mutual friends, the mutual friends who had screwed over my previous friends, they were also friends with my ex-boyfriend, my boyfriend at the time, well, ex at the time. We had planned to have a board game party for my birthday and let anybody who wanted to come and go at his house. And so, of course, because we broke up, obviously the party was over. There was no way in hell we were going to have that party again. Or we were going to continue with that part. At least I was definitely not going to be at that party. Because we also had talked about mom had to work that day on my birthday. So we decided to, after the party, once my mom got off of work, we'd all meet up with her at the Denny's nearby our store and have dinner together and then go our separate ways. Well, because I no longer was friends with my ex-boyfriend, it was kind of off and on, and it's very complicated. I'm not going to go into details on that, but we tried to be friends, and everybody knows you can't do that. It just doesn't work. I decided, okay, fine, you do what you want to do. I spent the whole day while mom was at work at Panera's. If you guys know Panera's soup and bakery place, it's awesome. Um, I love hanging out at Panera's. It has Wi-Fi. It has good food. I ended up the highlight of that day was while I was at Panera's, I saw NASCAR driver Casey Kane there. I and again because I'm not that kind of person, I didn't approach him. I just kind of stood back there and went, it's Casey. Oh my God. And because it was, of course, Halloween, I was dressed up, so I really didn't want to approach him with wearing what I was wearing. Which was actually some stuff I had bought at the Hindi shop. I was wearing a Hindi outfit for Halloween that year. So I was actually wearing some stuff I'd bought at the store in Myrtle Beach. As a Panera's, and I told some of my friends, nothing else, we're not going to be meeting over at my ex's house. You can meet me over at Panera's, which was just up the road from where we work. So when you get off work, come up and meet me up at, Panera's. And I waited and I waited. She goes, oh, actually, I ended up getting a ride from the mutual friends who they care about more than me. So, well, he's going over to David's house because they're still going to go ahead and do a, gaming session over there. So, he's going to give me a ride over there, and then we'll meet up with you guys afterwards at at Denny's. I'm thinking, well, fuck you. I mean, really, my birthday, that was originally going to be my party, and it ended up getting taken over by my ex and my friends, and they all went over to his house, and I was all alone at Panera's. I sat at Panera's for 9-ish hours by myself. And, well, mind you, I have Facebook. I had, a few Facebook messaging going on and replying to the messages on there, but nobody in town did shit for me. Nobody came and stopped by Panera's for even a couple minutes, and said, hi, happy birthday, here's a gift, let me buy you lunch. Actually, I take that back. There was a lady at our synagogue that I used to go to. Her birthday's the day before mine, and her husband just lived down the road in Davidson and ended up seeing me there. They actually did buy me a muffin for my birthday. I will give that one. And just remembered they did actually buy me, a treat for my birthday, but they didn't even know I was there. They were actually there for her birthday. I was like, oh, happy birthday. Well, happy birthday to you. Oh, they were the only ones who did anything, but like I said, they were there for her birthday. They didn't even know I was there. And still after mom got off, so we still went to Denny's because you get, free meal at Denny's for your birthday. And I told my friend who had screwed me over, to still meet me there because I was still friends with her even though she didn't deserve it. I don't know, and because me and my ex were trying to still be friends, I said, of course he could meet us over there. And our mutual friend, which is friends with my screwed over friends and with my ex, they all went to school together, and his girlfriend at the time, they even came over to Denny's. So pretty much everybody left his house and came over to Denny's for my party. Now, again, did anybody bring me anything? No. Did anybody really even acknowledge the fact that we were there for my birthday? No, not really. Now, mind you, my ex did pay for my mom's meal because mine was free, and the other guy paid for the other girls' meals, just to be the gentlemen that they were. One of them probably still is a gentleman. My ex was never really. I'm not going to go into that. But again, there was no gifts, there was no cards, there was barely even a happy birthday. So once again, those friends were involved in making my birthday worse instead of better. Like I said, it was very awkward sitting there at a table with my very recently ex-boyfriend, my two friends who were supposed to be with me for my birthday, who's, screwed me over and went to my ex's party, and their friends. So really, it was just me and mom and my friend and my ex and his friends, really. This is such a great birthday. So, like I said, I've had some really, really shitty birthdays. Like I said, after that, it went through pretty fine. That was when I decided, fuck everybody else. I'm doing birthdays for myself. Now, I would also like to clarify that this past year, was so desperate to want to, do something for my big 30. You guys have seen Danny Duncan, him and his twin brother did the whole flying simulator thing. And I forget, oh yeah, that's Melissa Trippi. Yeah, we're all the same age. Go figure that. Melissa went with Allie and a friend of hers. They went to a cruise. Snacks, been a friend of Danny's. Actually, Danny ended up taking him to a baseball game, I think it was, for his 30th birthday. So yeah, we were all turning 30 within months of each other. And they did some really cool stuff. Of course, they also have a lot more money and a lot more friends than I do. But I was so determined to do something with my friends for my 30th birthday. But again, to get everybody together, to get anything organized, just was not happening. But did I get anything other than a few texts and Facebook messages? Nope. Me and mom left, and even I'm not saying anything against my friends, but even a couple of my friends, a friend who actually suggested I go to Martinsville because it was the day before my birthday. Um, did she even do anything special for me? Even give me anything or pay for anything at the race? No, I barely saw her. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I've had some good birthdays. Only because I've chosen not to let other people involved in my birthday anymore, which really sucks. I think people wonder why I'm so distant and closed off. I think this kind of shows you every time I have let people into my life, when I've tried to include people into a special moment in my life, they have ended up ruining it for me. They have ended up screwing me over and making me wish I wasn't friends with them anymore, much less, want to keep doing things with them. People have hardly ever been there for me, and I think that's one reason why I wanted to do vlogging and to do podcasts and stuff, because at least this way I can connect with people all over the world. You who are listening to this, you may have never seen me in person, you may never see me in person, but you're hearing my story. And, you may be dealing with very similar stuff. You may have had every other one of your birthdays screwed over like I have. You may have dealt with very similar bullshit that I have. And so you can listen to this and go, damn, I thought I was the only one that got this screwed over. And we can be friends via the internet and Facebook and, just your comments in the comment section and your tweets and Facebook messages, and we may never meet. And it's pretty sad that I have had better friends that I've never even met. There are people in other states and in other countries who have been better friends to me than the people who I've worked next to that I've grown up with. Wow, this has almost gone on an hour. Huh. Who knew I could go on a long-winded rant like that? But I had to give you guys a lot of backstory because this was all pre-vlog days. And really, like I said, since I've been vlogging and since I've cut other people out of my life events, they've actually gone pretty good. And yeah, don't get me wrong, there have been a few times when me and mom have gone on trips and I'm like, girl, will you hurry up? Let's go. I want to go to this. Come on, come on, come on. Which is part of the reason why I went on my solo trip to Minnesota. Just to prove that I could do it and to do for me. That was the one time that it was me. It was my trip. No one was there to stop me. I could go when I wanted, stay when I wanted, eat where I wanted, and it was all for me. And that was the most selfish thing I've done in my entire life was going on that trip. Um, and will I do it again? Yes, I actually do plan on going on another solo trip. In fact, I was supposed to go on one this past year, and somewhere I've got passes for a Greyhound trip to go on another one, but I've lost those passes. I have till May to find them. So maybe, just maybe I can get lucky and I'll find them. But of course, with being unemployed, now I can't financially go on one of those trips. So if anybody wants to fund me, that'd be great. Speaking of money, I'm going to keep pushing these just to, because, well, this is right now my only source of income. Check out our merch website. Like I said, we got a lot of geeky gifts there, guys. We got guitar pick keychains, beaded keychains, boys t-shirts. I will be putting DVDs on there as well. One Direction cards. So really, got any One Direction fans? Check it out. I think I'm even going to start selling the wristbands we had for their con. I've got about 1,500 wristbands that we obviously didn't use, and I don't think we're going to use. So I might be even selling those. So if you guys want some cool checkered wristbands, let me know. I can sell you those. Thanks for being my therapy, guys. I know this has been a long one, and you may skip over, and you may not even be listening to this part. But thank you for being my online friend and online therapist. I do feel 1,000 times better just getting all this out. And I'll be doing a lot more of these rant series. Just kind of give you an idea of why I'm so cynical sometimes. And this is mainly even from my just friends who have always like, Sharon, why are you always like this? Why are you always so negative? This is why. This is why I'm so cut off and stay so distant and so quiet is because I've let people into my life and they fucked me over. And not even in a good way. Not gonna go into that one. But anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to my podcasts. I think I'm gonna do more podcasts than vlogs, even if I do find my camera. I think I'm just gonna stick to like special events, podcast or vlogging, and I might even do some, dash cam footage and stuff like that. But for the most part, I think I'm just gonna stick with podcasts and just do this because, like I said, this way I can wear my pajamas and have my hair all ratty and you don't even know. But anyway, I'll actually today because my internet is down, so you actually won't probably get this up until either later today or tomorrow, or God only knows when my internet gets back up. So I'm actually going to record a buku of podcasts, which are about to become my therapy session. And I just want to point out that my sniffling is not because I'm crying, but I still have a cold. But yeah, the internet is down, so I've got nothing but time to record podcasts today. So yay! That's gonna be my fun for today. So if I sound the same in these next several podcasts, yeah, that's why. Anyway, love your faces. I will talk to you guys. Well, actually, here in about like 10 minutes. Love you. Bye. Mwah.